So the camera is broken. Eric's got it disassembled, trying to fix it. But until then, there may not be much video. But just for you, we compiled all of our cell phone clips. So get ready to watch some really choppy and mumble-jumbled footage. This was right after we found out the camera was broken, so we decided that we would do our best to gather all of our cell phone clips and see what we could come up with. And this was the last day in Harrison Bay, and the last day Eric got a haircut. His mom is using the Floby, and we're running off the inverter and all of the solar power, so we are pretty excited about that.
Should I turn where this side's towards you?
Here we were at Chickamauga Dam that we had waited for over a month to open. Not really sure what they were working on because those doors were still pretty leaky. The gates of Mordor opened, the Chickamauga lock, and we continued our journey downstream after waiting over a month.
CJ. Can't hear you. Can never hear what you say.
After leaving Chickamauga Lock, we could still see all the remnants of the construction that they had been performing for the past month. So we're moving, and this current is moving. Look at the current on this buoy. Here we are, anchored in our cove for the night. The first cove since we left Harrison Bay State Park. This was our cove at Nickajack that we had came at in the middle of the night. Later this day was when we explored the cave and Hales Bar Dam. Here we are the next day. This was where the Tennessee River had just crossed into Alabama. The river was plenty wide and it was also plenty wavy.
Yep.
The doors of Guntersville Lock in northern Alabama opened, and we continued our journey downstream.
Smile for the camera, CJ!
Section of river. I'm taking a video.
The gates of Wheeler Lock opened, and we continued our journey downstream. For the last lock on the Tennessee River, instead of swinging doors closing behind us, this gate rose up out of the water instead.
CJ's getting rained on.
hard as we were going down Wilson Lock, which ironically was also the biggest lock on the entire trip. By the time we had got to the bottom of Wilson Lock, the rain was over. Sammy had come out to see what all the fuss was about as we left the last lock on the Tennessee River and continued our journey downstream. Here we are at Pickwick at the waterfall. Now on the Tombigbee we would have a lot of locks to go through. This was the first lock, and it was Whitten, and it's opening its doors, so we can continue downstream.
CJ! Oh, hey.
And this was Montgomery Lock.
I'm recording the majestic sounds. Sammy wants to know what the sounds are. Sammy, what's that sound?
The doors of Rankin Lock open. Leaving Fulton Lock. The doors of Wilkins Lock open for us. Unfortunately, there wasn't too much interesting things going on the Tombigbee, so we didn't get many river footage. But here is a dredging operation that was going on. Here the doors of Amory Lock open, and you can sort of make out another dredging operation going on. There's the big old crane. We skirted to the left side of all that. The lock tender was very helpful in letting us know what was going on and where we needed to be. The doors of Aberdeen Lock opening for us. The doors of Stennis Lock open, and we continue our journey downstream. Finally, we came to some pretty cool scenery. This was just right outside of Demopolis, I believe, and these cliffs were just super cool looking. They were big, tall, white cliffs. Eric called these the White Cliffs of Dover. The doors of Beville Lock opening before us. This was just south of Demopolis, where the Black Warrior Tombigbee River begins. It was really cool looking behind us. We could see the cliffs and the water running off. I'm not sure if it was a dam or if that's just a natural river or what, but it was cool. Eric insisted we pull over and anchor the boat and go for a swim, but I had to be the voice of reason and tell him no, because alligators lived here. Here's some more white rocks, not as cliff-like, but still very cool. And here is the last lock on the Tombigbee. This was Heflin Lock, and the doors open. We were ready to continue our journey downstream. The very last lock on the stretch of river was already in place before the Tombigbee project was started, but when we tried calling on the radio, we didn't get an answer.
Yes, sir. I don't guess I'll ever replace it, I don't reckon.
When we finally got in touch, it seemed like they were having a pretty serious conversation on finding a good used truck.
What's that? For Chevrolet. For sale. And get Amy Joe's okay, and it'll be alright.
As long as Amy Jo says it's okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've been looking, but I just ain't found nothing I can afford. So go ahead and spend it on something you want.
I tell Eric this all the time.
Only for listening that, me and you can talk, but I ain't gonna talk on the radio.
I beg to differ. This was the conversation between the lock tender and the barge master.
On you for Nangle. Yeah, we got this barge slid back. Maybe we'll fit in there now and we'll get out of this sailboat's way.
That would be lovely.
Any of y'all gonna work tomorrow? No, sir. No, sir. Said somebody was coming to look at that dirt tomorrow. Yes, sir. I told him they could just come right on the barge. And
Turns out eavesdropping on the radio is a hobby of mine.
If they're safe. My wife said if Hillary gets elected, we're moving to Mexico.
And we made it. Here we are in Mobile Bay, anchored, enjoying the sunset. We made it 850 miles and 18 locks. It was a long trip, but now we're on the ocean. So stay with us as we continue the rest of our journey.